All right, folks, glad you could stop in today. We don't put any intro music or anything like that because what I want to talk to you about is a serious nature. Not too long ago, a few years back, I read something I thought was really, really good. It kind of put everything together about being in law enforcement. And it was something that a Sergeant Bernie Moss wrote from the El Paso Sheriff's Office. And it really stuck to the point that I put it out there in another article, and then I posted it sometime back in one of the social network venues. And I'm not taking credit for it because it clearly was not mine, but I really love what it had to say. And it brought into play what law enforcement are, what happens there. So you have a rookie class, and that's what they call the new officers. They have a rookie class. They're sitting around, and they're ready for their first assignments, and they've gone through the process. They've got the training, and they're ready to go. And so this real strapping officer comes in, about 6'4", weighs 230 pounds, pure muscle, has graying hair. And he hears all these folks, these new officers talk, and about how great and how good things are and how well they're doing. And he thought, that's just something. So basically, they start talking to him a little bit. And he has very little to say. And he just asked. He said, "So you really want to be a hero, do you? You want to be a policeman?" Basically they wondered about the concept. He said, "Well, I'll tell you what, you're not a policeman until you taste them." And they began to wonder about what he was talking about. You're not a policeman until you taste them. One thought was that does it you're blown blood after you got into a fight or sweat from working out in a gym? What is it that you had to taste that would actually make you a policeman? And it said that one of the officers on his first year on the department had gone out and, had to go to a call. And when he got out to the call, he found a woman that had called for help. And when he got there, apparently she was laying on the floor. She was unconscious, unresponsive, and he had to begin giving her CPR. And as he was giving her CPR, he heard a little girl, which was her daughter in the background, say, "Please, can you help my mommy? Help my mommy." And unfortunately, that didn't happen. Her mommy died. And as he turned around, he looked to the girl's daddy and asked him what happened. Dad says, "I don't know what happened. She was getting on me about needing to get a job, and I had just basically heard enough, and I shoved her. She hit the floor. She hit her head, and I don't know what happened. I didn't mean to do it. I don't, it comes and goes." So immediately the officer turned around and handcuffed the individual just to look over there and see the little girl. All of a sudden, he's become from the little girl's hero to save his mommy, her mommy rather, to totally opposite, because now he's taking out her daddy. And he says, I want to talk to her, but I don't think that's going to help anyway. So he takes the man to jail, puts him in jail, and he gets back to the station. And as he's in the station, he begins to cry. And the tears are rolling down his face. And about that time, he turned around, he looked, and he saw that 6'4" officer. Real muscular, graying hair, looking down on him, put his hands on his shoulder. He said, "Okay, hero, what do they taste like?" And he realized he was talking about what does his tears taste like. And as he looked up to the officer asking him the question, the senior officer of the crowd, he looked down at him and he said, "Welcome to the department. You're now a policeman." So I say that, and that was just, I didn't want to go on the whole thing, but the concept of that is really, really powerful if you think about it. You know, and I tell you what, that is awesome, because it really tells us what we do and what we do along the way as law enforcement. People don't realize how much an officer puts into what he does or what she does. You know, day in and day out. They're not there for all their holidays. They're not there for their children's holidays. They're not there every Christmas when Santa Claus comes. They're not there for all the most important times in a child's life. You know, and of course they want to be. But unfortunately, somebody has to go out and protect society. Because if they didn't, the place would go crazy. But I brought that up attention just to focus in on what law enforcement officers have to do and where they have to be and what they need to get to, even within themselves, to find out that, that they now are part of law enforcement. You know, they do go through a lot of tragedies. They go through a lot of things. I can tell you so many things from my career, that were powerful. There were life-changing events and moments, some very sad times. And if any officer tells you that those things don't affect him or her, they wouldn't be telling you the truth, because it does. Many officers, unfortunately, have mental issues dealing with this, PTSD and things like that. If you don't face these issues head on and try to tackle those issues and make things a little bit different. But I say all this for the biggest issue is this. You know, they're out there busting their hump each and every day. They don't get paid a lot of money. They're not looked as heroes. And in many cases, they're looked up as they're zeros. But the reality is simple. They do the best they can do with what they have, the way they're trained. And they're trained, their proficiency in training is what I'll say. So it doesn't get back to the training and everything that they have to, decisions that they make. Be mindful of that and understand this is what they go through with. And every time you go to bed at night, I want you to think about that one officer, that one person who's not going to make it home at the end of their shift. And say a prayer for the family. Say a prayer for them. They deserve it. They need it. And I just think it's the right thing for us as Americans to do, because that's the foundation of who we are. And once we lose that, we are no longer the country that we need to be, folks. A lot of big decisions coming up. A lot of big decisions are coming up. And as those decisions are coming up, we have to realize that, we have to look at law enforcement. Because the minute we no longer have it, or the minute that people stop doing it, our country is gone. So think about that when you go to vote. Give that some serious thought. Look who is supporting law enforcement now and who is not. That's what I ask you to do. Look at that when you go to vote. You know where your vote needs to be. For me, I'll make it real simple. I'll make it clear. I'm voting for Donald J. Trump. And I'm also voting for Dan Forrest in North Carolina for governor, Mark Roberts for lieutenant governor, Tom Tillis for senator. Absolutely. They get my vote 100%, and they got law enforcement's vote. Why do they have law enforcement's vote? Because they have law enforcement's back. Vote for these folks November 3rd or prior to, and we'll be a better country for it. We'll be a better state for it. And God bless everybody out there, and I wish you all the best.